is going to be yet to be seen, but we do go into the draft now as Night Stalker going to be banning for the blue side here. Let's see where they're going. It is Superman. Sticking with the game plan so far. Superman, no one really likes to deal with him, let's be honest.
With only one slot to work with, Superman is by far right now still the band to go to. And, you know, there's reasons why. If you see that going in, wow. Okay, so Kilgrath getting taken out this one. You know, we didn't really see it last game, but of course we do know his potential, letting him go. A lot of people run Punish in that solo lane, which is very viable on Kilgrath right now. Most of you guys know what the changes of that Scorching Wind. But, yeah, I think that's pretty good for a ban.
Yeah, Kilgroth obviously had a huge effect in week 1, definitely considered ban-worthy, and that ban-worthiness being shown here as we do see the Zephyrus and then the Roma and Joker being picked up in retaliation. Zephyrus, we had a brief discussion earlier today, me and JBZ, about how Zephyrus is one of those heroes that it doesn't matter which region you go to, he is strong and he is definitely meta, and he's a great pickup for anyone looking to play jungle. And he's strong enough that he's always viable, but he's never strong enough to be ban-worthy. He's just out of that OP reach, which means that he's a great hero to be picking up in these scenarios. Meanwhile, there they are. There's those twins, Teamy being picked up there already for the blue side. And the answer to that was the Ormar and the Lumber for the red team. What are we thinking seeing these picks?
Well, already just looking at what they have the Zephyrs, Malik, and Teamy. That's a combo on its own, and we've got Zenial to complete the list with Valiant backing them up. We're gonna have a pretty interesting team fight. We were talking about Zenial earlier today too, and how his power can work with. So, depending on who the team focuses, if they can get towards Violet, or I dare say if they get towards Teamy too, then they should be almost in the clear. But honestly, looking at the team comp that we've got on this side, Joker, Ryoma, Lumber, Ormar, and Zill. CC is going to be coming out really strong from them. Lumber is great at protecting. We do know that. Joker's got that range. She can keep that poke going for a while. And of course, Ormar getting his stacks and that stun coming out can be just as dangerous. So if they plan that right, they could stop the Zenio from ulting to his teammates, depending who goes against him. Malik can, well, his ult also might become a little bit obsolete as well. But we're looking at a very good team fight between both of these guys. I do expect them to be aggressive on Teamy side again. You know, when you have Teamy, it's kind of hard not to be aggressive. And of course, Zephyrs being strong as he is, you should take that opportunity. But again, we talked about last game as well. Ryoma was making plays, and you can be aggressive that way. Now, Zill, I haven't seen him in a while in jungle, but he did have that spark with him a couple seasons ago for us on NA. So I am curious to see how he does with this matchup.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think aggression is going to be key. If we look at that top side composition, the Ryoma, the Zill, the Joker, the Lumber, the Ormar, that is pure CC chain if you could ever line anyone up, with Zill ripping through your backline that cannot move, with Ryoma stuns, with Joker slows, with Lumber knockups and slows, Ormar with the CC on pretty much every one of his abilities. This is a dangerous composition to go against if you are caught out, and I think that's what they're going to be looking to do here. They're going to be looking, like you said, for that Violet. A Teamy is going to struggle to use being a bro if he is stunned to high hell. You know, you're not going to be able to Night Stalker's not going to be able to use that ultimate to its greatest effect if he cannot get to his team. And the Zenio is going to be very key in these team fights. I think, if I'm honest, that's going to be the big turning point, because there's going to be pure aggression coming out early in team fights from the top side team. But that Zenio ultimate is going to do so much work if they can mitigate that damage and that CC. Once those skills go on cooldown, that's when it's really going to be the potential game changer for them, particularly in the late game. So let's see how this plays out. We do see the standardized pause here at the beginning of the game, just to allow the teams to settle and make sure that everyone is in the game and is ready to roll. What do we think, seeing these team compositions? Which side are we going? Are we going for the blue team here or the red team? What do you think is going to come out of this, JBZ?
I'm still going to stick with my guess of the red team being aggressive as they are. They got Teamy they're going into. Now, here's the problem, though. Like you were talking about, blue team has all the CC that they've got going for them, and it is fantastic, because if they decide to invade, they could pick somebody off right then and there. Ormar starting off with what he has. He already has his stun attacks to work with, and depending on what Lumber took, he could also deny the enemy as well.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. We're not seeing the same level of aggression in the early stages that we saw in the previous game. No obvious invades coming out this time. Very defensive strategies, lining themselves up along the river to make sure that no one is going to be invading those jungles. Staying there even a little bit longer than expected, actually, as we see, in fact, a Violet in the mid lane there as well. It didn't really occur to me where she was going to be playing at this point in time, but a Violet in the mid lane, it does work. Joker, obviously, in NA, in EU, we're used to seeing him played as purely marksman. Sorry, I could just hear some pings. My bad. You used to see him played marksman, but that doesn't always come across in every region, and we do see him being played in the mid lane, fairly common in the Southeast Asia region, in the Valiant region. Let's take a look at that bot lane now, as we do see various teams circling around. But meanwhile, in the top side, we do see a lot of damage coming out. Ryoma, with that early aggression straight onto that Zenial, does take him down to half health, but he is going to take that turret restore and keep himself healthy. Meanwhile, in that bot side, we do see a hard engage coming down onto Stardust, and the red side are just going to back away here, as the still a little way off before Abyssal Dragon spawns. So this early aggression, they're going to be looking for a kill potentially before they start on those objectives, and it could be that Joker or Zeal are the target. Night Stalker has gone down to half health though. Does need to be very careful. Won't have those defensive abilities and doesn't have his ultimate to fall back on in these early stages.
You can see right now, Dark Shadow on the Zephyr, he is taking the lead. You can see that he's asking for teaming. He's getting everyone on his team. He was trying to get that kill a little bit earlier. Nothing much they could do, as of course they had a lot of cooldowns to work with. The Dragon is wide open now. It's for anyone's game, and it does look like the majority of the team side of blue is going to be on that. But they are going to collapse on middle, trying to take care of that Violet. And of course, talking about the ADCs, Violet to Joker is a good combo right there. But we do see a team fight actually happening. First Blood's going to go to Dark Shadow, collapsing on top. We were talking about him taking the lead, and Teamy did meet him up on the middle, and Ryoma just ended up getting caught out, and he was going to go there. And another thing I wanted to mention was Zenial. The best way to stop him, of course, is, since he is going punish build, is you want to deny him that bird in the river. And of course, the way that Ryoma was putting his aggression was keeping him out of lane, which is perfect. And now we're starting a Dragon as well. Wow, we're just going one after the other.
Exactly, and this is exactly what you want to do. You want to translate those kills into objectives. Meanwhile, Huge plays trying to come out there from Huge Rogue, but it isn't going to quite pan out in his favor. Doesn't manage to secure that Abyssal Dragon and is going to go down for his effort. Meanwhile, that Abyssal Dragon did go over to ShallowDead. ShallowDead now putting in that aggression. Ultimate gas canister was used, and Joker is going to pick up the kill there on to the Zephyr's. Meanwhile, Violet doing work in the backline, trying to keep herself healthy. Ormar spinning to win, but it's not going to win him this victory. He has to flee at this stage. Meanwhile, Lost will go down to that backline, but Night Stalker is stalking him. It's not nighttime, but it's not going to stop him stalking regardless. And we do see Starless there going to come defend as well. Meanwhile, Kyvan in the mid lane, ooh, he sensed something was wrong there. He noticed that a pair of certain pair of twins were missing, and did decide to back a little bit further onto turret there. Some really great aggressive plays coming out in these early stages. This is why we love Arena of Valor. This is why we love the Valiant region. It's this aggression. It's this non-stop action. This is what we want to see from these two teams.
And speaking of aggression, bottom lane is going to be getting some love. This team is about to join down there, however. It looks like Lumbers to secure the Malik. Interesting. A little bit of a turn down.
Yeah, Lost getting very low here. Meanwhile, Teamy was trying to secure that, but it's going to go over to Violet. Probably the person you want that kill to go on. Starless now going to be defending. Huge Rogue doing what he can to keep the lane at bay. But this is a 3-on-3, but with very low health now coming out for Saiyan. Saiyan going to have to play very carefully here. Huge Rogue doesn't want to get too set back in his ways. Violet does have very low mana right now, so does need to be careful. Won't necessarily have all their abilities available to them should an aggressive play come here from Joker. Does have a level advantage though, so does need to be, does have that going for them. Ryoma in the top lane doesn't have to worry about mana, fortunately for him. So speaking of lanes, we're going from lane to lane. Bot lane though, aggression coming out over. Starless has had to back. Lost is going to stun up the Malok as much as possible. Kyvan waiting in the wings. Ultimate comes out. Gas canister used. Killing joke used. That's another tornado coming out from Huge Rogue and is going to pick up the kill on that Zeal. Are they going to turn their attention straight to this Abyssal Dragon? They're not going to have a chance, because descending down the river, we do see the rest of ShallowDead. ShallowDead are going to be pushing down into that bot lane because Ormar was forced to defend the mid. This does mean, that's a very, very dead Violet there. Does mean that Kyvan is going to have to back off. No, it's not a dead Violet. Violet's still alive. I thought Violet was going to go there, but maybe it's her time now. It is indeed. However, no, there was not time for being a bro. I don't know whether it was on cooldown or whether the sheer CC coming out of Ormar did stop that happening, but it does allow ShallowDead now to turn her attention towards that Abyssal Dragon and go to pick up another objective. Dark Shadow, very low, is going to have to be very careful, but they'll pick it up regardless. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the keyword of today's matchups is pressure. It is happening. We've seen it in the first game, and in this game, it's happening even more. It was happening so much that there was team fights almost every second. And again, going back to why we love AOV so much, these fights will happen way faster than if you played something in League of Legends. But we were seeing play after play after play after play. And also, going back to the Violet a little bit earlier when she was out of mana, that aggression that she was putting was great. But you have to understand, unless you're running one of the items that allows her to get mana back, and even then, it's a little bit hard. You don't want to be pressuring like that. Without mana, you're kind of costing Violet a bit. Yes, I understand basic attacks, and there is going to be another team fight here. Violet's going to do a nice little spin there. Lost's going to lose the majority of his health. Violet taking a little bit of turret damage, but that's not going to stop her either. And as you can see, constant mayhem. They just keep going at each other, and the aggression is still within Red Team's favor, though.
Yes, we do see here that ShallowDead is still doing the work, and with Teamy out of action and forced to back up, having used being a bro, this does put Huge Rogue at significant risk, but he's going to go in regardless. Does go down, but that is going to be a kill picked up by the tower. Well, the tower actually doing a majority of the damage there. Triple kill going over to Zephys. That is not a person you want to see getting a triple kill at this point in time, but the shutdown does go over to Zeal. That is going to help them a little bit, but meanwhile, they turn their attention to Spirit Sentinel. Lost, going 1 versus 2, feeling very confident now, going into Night Stalker and Kotar. I think that's Kotar or Eotar. I can't tell. I do apologize. But Zenial is going to do a lot of work here and take away that bird, that seagull, to get some vision in the jungle. With all this action happening, vision is going to be extremely key.
You know, we were talking about stopping that Zenio earlier, and Ryoma was doing a great job on that, but it seems like the pressure is falling off, and Zenio is able to get his chance to get the bird secured in middle. Then he's going over onto Sentinel. And if you let Zenio go, it's just as bad as letting Valiant get fed or Teamy running around and roaming.
Yeah, Angelic Splendor, whilst an amazing ultimate, is going to really, it's going to be extremely hard to get that to connect with all this CC coming out from the enemy team. And I think that that is something that Zenil is slowly realizing is a problem. Huge Rogue here doing amazing damage, is going to manage to pick up that kill onto Violet, but he's not happy with one. He's looking for Dark Shadow here as well. Dark Shadow does get tanky when he gets low health, but it's not going to stop Huge Rogue picking up that kill. Actually, that wasn't. That's going over to Joker, in fact, with the assistance there of Zeal. Starless having to defend as support in that bot lane, but it will be enough to keep them at bay. He's not overextended at this stage. Malok was waiting in the wings, but isn't going to be able to find that fight that he's looking for. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we do see a lot of pressure now being applied by Saiyan.Paranoia as Saiyan make their way down towards Dark Slayer, but it's a little bit early, and Huge Rogue hasn't got the health, so they're going to be happy to try and push that mid lane out. Lost now has found Skeeny in the bot side by Abyssal. This will be a fight they'll be looking to have. Unfortunately, he's not going to be looking to have it if he realizes that Violet is coming down soon as well. And that both teams now kind of just backing off a fraction. Though now I've said that, wait for it. Whenever you say a team has backed off, that's when a full team fight normally breaks out. Like this, and that's where we see being a pro being used to great effect. Is going to manage to bring some of his teammates back. That combined with the Angelic Splendor does put a decent amount of health back onto the red side of ShallowDead. ShallowDead then managed to pick up another kill and are still relatively healthy. Meanwhile, on the bot side, Startless is taking a decent amount of damage from Malok. Skinny is going to be doing what he can to try and pressure this tower. Meanwhile, the rest of his team, with that objective mindset, are going to manage to push for this Abyssal Dragon fight in the top lane. Zenial doing some serious work here. Carry Me is going to have to run away, but he will use that stun and will manage to get himself to safety. This is non-stop from both these teams, and 13-10, it's not, and there's only, what, 2k gold in this at this point? It's not a lot in this. This is still anyone's game, right, JB?
It is definitely anyone's game, and honestly, with this, there it is again. Joker gonna go ahead and secure the Violet. Violet's coming out. TV getting a little bit caught out as well. Omar there to back him up, and they are gonna get out a little bit late there. And it looks like Dark wants to redeem this as well, so they're gonna go back in with Malik. Malik's gonna actually secure that. Joker a little bit low there, but pops a heal.
Yeah, Angelic Splendor coming down and doing a serious amount of work there as well. Nightstalker is going to be forced out of the fight. Zeal is going to use that tornado, picking up a lot of damage onto the rest of the enemy team. Dark Shadow sitting in the wings is getting very slow, looking for Kaivan, does manage to pick out Joker. Starless is going to use the ultimate to try and break up the team and do what he can, but that was a huge play by Zevs there, managed to pick up a kill in return for his own death, but now Zenio is going to be fleeing for his life as Ryoma comes in chasing, and it is going to pick up the kill as well. That is another kill going down, and a shutdown for Carry Me there on that Roma, but he's very low, and that is one shot, one kill coming out from Violet with just a simple roll on auto attack there, nothing dramatic needed, and the ace does eventually go over to the side of ShallowDead. Great play there from the ShallowDead side.
We're talking about here anyone's game, and it's literally still anyone's game. It's so close that you really have to pay attention, because the fight after fight after fight, and look, there's another one starting up right after we get through one. These guys really like going after each other, and the objectives are still in their mind, which is really good. And it keeps the aggression. Teamy here is going to try to take the lead on this one, and hopefully we can see what happens.
Yeah, we can see here that another engage is coming out. Huge Rogue is going to be doing what damage he can. They're all going to stand in the Angelic Splendor, but that isn't going to be the great sign for Huge Rogue. He does have to back out. Starless is going to go down. It does look like Too Skinny, I think, picked up that kill. He did indeed. Malok now making their way on to Carry Me. One by one, they fall slowly but surely. And in the back line there, you can see the Joker forced to back the sole survivor of the ShallowDead team. The Saiyan.Paranoia team, my apologies. As ShallowDead push in on that bot turret, but they aren't happy with that. They're going to go to Abyssal. I'm surprised they haven't turned their attention to Slayer at this point in the game, but that might just be their next stop, as we see Night Stalker over by that Dark Slayer and the rest of the team joining as ShallowDead now looking to push this and looking for that end zone, looking for that game-winning opportunity here as they take the Dark Slayer.
I mean, like, what we're looking at here and we're seeing it is ultimately what it's coming down to. You know, I keep emphasizing Zenio, but for very good reason. He is a top laner, solo lane by heart, and he is listed as a support, but personally, I just feel he has more of that solo side to him. And he's underestimated a lot, especially in my server. But what he brings to the table is just as dangerous as anything else. He gets focused down by people, like you're saying. Angelic Splendor it's been setting the team fights and the role, and if you let Zenio lead, it's just not going to go in your favor. And they're protecting Violet really well most of the times. Yeah,
Violet's been playing extremely well. Very great defensive play coming out there. Huge Rogue having to do what he can to try and do damage, but Zil is not a tanky hero. He's staying alive a miraculous amount of time, enough time to pick up the kill onto the Violet, in fact, and does manage to creep out with just a tiny bit of health after the double kill. Is going to go back in looking for Night Stalker, I think, but no, he's just going to let the rest of his team try and take them down. Meanwhile, we do see, Rogue does go very low there. Zenial does almost take him out. Starless is going to use the ultimate to try and break up the team fight, but Zenial, now the sole survivor in this team fight up here, is going to be taking damage from all sides, does flee and does manage to dash himself away to safety. 1 versus 3. He did great in getting out of that fight, because that was not looking great for him there. 4 members of the of the Saiyan.Paranoia team alive to the 2 remaining of ShallowDead. Now, obviously, we've had a respawn as well. This is slowly getting a bit out of hand now.
That team fight up top, though, was actually a bit sloppy for the start of it. So we were just talking about how they were protecting Violet earlier, right before that team fight started. One mistake that I see on a lot of Violets, and it was actually played out in this one, is Violet actually stuck in the group. Instead of rolling backwards, she did roll forwards, and she was in the middle of that team fight, allowing Zil to jump on her and take care of her first. And then after that, everything just spiraled out of control. Also, Dark Shadow split off from his team to go chase after Ryoma. So that did cause a little bit of a delay as well.
Yeah, no one likes, like I say, as a support main, it scares the bejesus out of me whenever I see my Violet rolling forwards, because I know that something bad is about to happen. Meanwhile, talking about something bad that's about to happen, a team fight does break out in the jungle. Starless is going to use the ultimate to great effect. Angelic Splendor comes down, is going to do a good chunk of healing, but meanwhile, Zil is going to pick up a kill on the backline. Huge Rogue does dash out to safety, is going to throw out the blades and manage to do significant damage. Loss will be going down to Carry Me here. Carry Me is staying alive a lot longer than I think the enemy team wanted him to, and in fact he is going to manage to pick up a kill as Huge Rogue comes back in as well, as those skills and abilities come off cooldown. Dark Shadow is going to be the final man standing and will go down as the Saiyan.Paranoia team managed to secure themselves an ace. That is a triple kill going over to Huge Rogue on that Zil as well. amazing plays, and it does give them an opportunity to start pushing those objectives. There's no Abyssal Dragon, there is no Slayer available, but there are plenty of towers waiting to drop as they start pushing their way down mid.
And there we go again, in this time even more dangerous. You know, anytime you go through the jungle, you take that risk. Personally, you should always have the support or the tank up front trying to scout things out. But what they had right there is, again, Valiant was running with the group, and then they get caught out from both sides, and then they just collapse. And of course, with the ADC going down, not much Malik can really do right now as he's set, and he needs a little bit more time. And of course, Zenio, if his shield is pop, he can still do damage, but that shield is kind of necessary to make things happen.
Yeah, meanwhile, Carry Me has been caught out here. Chain Lance did connect, as did the Pooty Poots. He is going to go down, does have Ancestral Glory, but it looks like it's not the right place for him to be. When he does pop back up, is going to die regardless. Startless now is in a vulnerable position. Gets away with the slightest sliver of health. I don't think Violet can quite connect. He is going to manage to get himself to safety. Kyvern and Co are going to be fleeing as well. Something I noticed in the last team fight is the hit and run tactics coming out from Zill on Huge Rogue on that Zill are extremely effective. He's managed to get in there, do a significant amount of damage, pull himself to safety whilst the focus falls onto other people, then get back in to tidy up and clean up the back line when people do start dropping low. And it's been working amazing for him in these team fights. He's been able to get in, use the tornado, do serious AoE damage, get out, then get back in at a later point. The teams now both know that getting to this 16-minute stage of the game, these are the big moments, right? These are the moments where a big team fight going in your favor can win you the game. What do we think? What are you expecting to see out of these two teams now at this point in the game, JB?
At this point in time, now that they're all set, and of course Lumber is now the one being aggressive. You saw at the beginning of the game he was being passive, but he is set, he's ready to go, and it's time for them to actually mow here. And of course Dragon is in the sights, blue team, they're actually going to secure that. And Red is now, like, they're struggling to get that play that they want. And of course there's Zill's making the play again.
Yeah, Zill going in with that aggression does serious work. I don't think that this is going to be a good answer for him as he goes in one by one. The enemy team start falling. Zephyr's Dark Shadow, who's been previously one of the last people to drop, gets focused down early on this occasion. We do see Lost going down as well, and that is a very low health team, but Stardust managing to knock up the Violet. Violet is going to be fleeing for life, but that turret doesn't have much health. Killing Joke does get fired out. I'm not sure if that connected or not, but the shutdown did happen as Violet did manage to pick up the kill onto Zill. So actually, at the end of that, it kind of evened out. Both teams taking way more damage than they wanted to, and we did see Violet picking up a kill onto Joker there as well. That was really big for Saiyan.Paranoia there, because if they'd have lost that situation with where their turrets are right now, that could have been game going out to ShallowDead. They did great at evening out those kills in that team fight that actually looked like it was going to go very much in favor of Saiyan.
And it was almost in their favor, like, to a point. But it's like, as we were talking about the struggle that they're running through, they still have a chance to win. It's very much in their favor. They have everyone set up good to go. And of course, Darkslayer is now going to be in their sights, and they're going to try and resecure this. But what's happening is its position. It just comes down to where everyone is and how it goes about.
Yeah, this is not great positioning coming out from Saiyan, as we do see Darkslayer going over to ShallowDead. ShallowDead now are going to be pressuring now with that 30% buff. They're doing huge damage. That is a massive AoE pile of doom coming out there from the red side, as we see member after member of the of the ShallowDead group going down, as Dark Shadow goes even under turret to try and secure that kill and manages to concede. That is going to be an ace. And this is going to allow them to push this wave out as best as possible once they've cleared those minions and push onto those towers. This has gone back and forth throughout the entirety of this game. Both teams playing amazingly. These team fights swaying so dramatically. And it does look like if they can pressure in effectively here, this could be the game going over to the red side. I don't know what the blue team can do here, but they are going to be respawning slowly but surely. We've got Zill coming up in 7 seconds. I don't know if it's going to be enough. They do have minions with them as well. That's going to be game going over to ShallowDead. ShallowDead picking up that kill over Saiyan.Paranoia there. Great work from them. GG.
And there it is. We were just talking about it, and it happened right at the end. So it was positioning the whole time, and that Darkslayer was what they needed. So yes, Teamy was out a little bit in the front there, but not too bad. Usually if you have the support, like I said, supporter tank scouting out, it's completely okay. And then Violet stayed right behind the Darkslayer area, which is the perfect place for any marksman to be, as it is the safest part of it. And then after that, what happened in the team fight was when Saiyan just decided to collapse. They thought they could get it. You know, it was early. It's the first Darkslayer. They can roll on everybody. It ended up working in reverse. Zenny was able to back them up. Violet just came rolling in from the back line, which was perfect positioning on that half. And then they just steamrolled through the end, and they were able to push. And, of course, Zenny also did a little bit of a proxying at the end of it as well.
Yeah, he did great work in being that sort of, pausing that lane, clearing out that wave to try and make sure that a good solid push could become with a full wave. Great work from both sides there. Huge Rogue obviously doing a massive amount of work with 10 kills in that game. But, it shows that that no matter how hard you're working, you can still lose. Things can go early game in Arena of Valor, but it only takes that one team fight, or in this case, several team fights, for things to slowly shift against you. So amazing play from both teams there, but GG, well done, ShallowDead. With that, guys, we are going to go into another short break, much shorter break than we experienced previously, as we go into the next game. The next one is going